Today we're going to be reading The Science of Breakable Things by Keller, and I'm going to read you the blurb for this. Oh, before I do that, I have an announcement for you. So we're going to be changing the name of this series from First Chapter Fridays to First Pages, and I don't really know all of the details yet, but what I imagine this is going to look like is it's going to have something to do with the virtual and hybrid schedule. So I'm assuming that it's going to be either multiple or staggered times of a week, depending on when you're here, when you're not. We'll figure it all out later, but just wanted to let you know. And let's get into it. I'm going to read the blurb. Question: how do you grow a miracle? For the record, this is not the question Mr. Neely is looking for when he says everyone in class must answer an important question using the scientific process. But Natalie's botanist mother is suffering from depression. So is this the question. So this is the question that's important to Natalie. When Mr. Neely suggested that she enter an egg drop competition, Natalie has hope. There's prize money, and she's allowed to team up with her best friend, Twig, and the new kid, Derry. They have to win. Then she can fly her mother to see the miraculous cobalt blue orchids, flowers that survive against impossible odds. Natalie knows the flower's magic will inspire her mother to love life again. Because when parents are breakable, it's up to kids to save them, right? So we're going to read this, and I'll read you the first pages. Let me see. Okay. Step 1. Observe. This is the first step in the scientific process. Sharpen and hone your observational skills. What is going on in the world around you? Note everything you see and experience. Hashtag Mr. Neely's Scientific Adventure. September 5th. Assignment 1. Observe your surroundings. Mr. Neely just wrote our first lab book assignment on the board in his scrunched up, scratchy handwriting, and he's getting all excited about this scientific process stuff. I'm not sure why he feels the need to use hashtags and spell perfectly innocent words with a Z, but he's one of those teachers you don't bother questioning. He has big plans for this lab notebook. Apparently, he thinks it's important to teach students dedication to long-term projects, and this assignment is his grand solution. Basically, we're supposed to observe something that interests us and spend all year applying the scientific process to our capital Q question. As soon as we sat down, he passed out these dorky old composition notebooks and said, "This will be your Wonderings journal. You will record lab notes and assignments and document the greatest scientific journey of all time, your scientific journey." We all stared, trying to figure out if he was for real or not. He was. You'll spend this year developing your own scientific process, and it all starts with one question, that thing that sparks you to life. Mr. Neely made a weird explosion gesture with his hands, and someone in the back of the room giggled, which only seemed to encourage him. By the end of the year, I'll be the one learning. From you! Mr. Neely is a new teacher, so he's still optimistic and stuff. But personally, I think this assignment's a lost cause. Last year, our English teacher, Miss Jackson, thought it'd be really great for us to keep journals. The only requirement? 50 pages by the end of the year, written from the heart. If you hadn't guessed already, that just resulted in everyone writing all 50 pages the day before journals were due. I mostly filled mine with song lyrics, copied in my biggest, sloppiest handwriting. And technically, this is supposed to be homework, but I don't see why I shouldn't get a head start. Without further ado, dearest lab notebook, I present Natalie Napoli's scientific observations. Mr. Neely waves his arms in big circles when he talks, which makes him look like a overager hula dancer. His white button-down, bright against his dark brown skin, wrinkles as he moves. He tells us he wants to embrace the joys of science. Michaela Menzer raises her hand. Michaela Menzer answers without being called on. She says, "Science is literally the joy of my life. I am literally embracing it right now." Michaela Menzer is not literally embracing anything. She's just sitting at her desk, catty-cornered in mine, with her hands clasped in front of her and her thick dark braid twisting over her shoulder. Michaela Menzer smells like sunscreen, which kind of makes the entire classroom smell like sunscreen, and the air in here is damp and hot. I wish Fountain Middle had air conditioning. I wish we had enough money for me to go to Valley Hope Middle, which does have AC, but now that Mom's sick, Dad said we need to tighten our belt a notch. Anyway, Twig's here. Even though her family can definitely afford Valley Hope, I guess this place isn't so bad. Twig, best friend in the entire galaxy. Her words. Mr. Neely is saying my name, but I haven't been listening, so I just nod at him and give him my best I'm embracing science smile. Mr. Neely says, I'm glad you're having so much fun with the assignment, but making observation is supposed to be homework, Nedley. Please pay attention in class. I am paying attention, and Michaela Menzer still smells like sunscreen. Step 2. Question. What baffles you about the world? Find something that intrigues you and study it with all your heart. Don your detective cap and become your own private investigator. Or should I say, your own scientific investigator. Hashtag 7th grade sleuths. So that is going to be the end of the chapter for today. It was a rather short one. But yeah, if you want to find this book, it will be in the library for you, your local one or your school one. So whichever is closest to you, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.